What's up, guys? It's Philip.
And Amber.
What's happening?
Welcome back. Philip is being so silly today, but this is part 5.
Yes.
Watch the other parts if you haven't.
Yes, do that.
Like our page. Like this video.
And subscribe to our channel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We appreciate the support. We absolutely do. We are getting super intimate with this journey. The last video was a pretty intense one. If you haven't watched it, check it out. We'll link it somewhere. But
yeah,
it's getting intense. So
Yeah,
we
it
appreciate you guys for tuning in.
yeah,
For being encouraging, all of that, because I mean this is a lot.
yeah.
But it's our story and God gets all the glory, so we're thankful for that. So we'll start back just with us getting back to Charlotte from Arkansas for the second time. And when we left off, we were talking about how God was really speaking to me about our marriage being tested, or attacked is what he said. Our marriage would be attacked. It certainly was. It certainly was. Like Philip and I, we've been married for 10 years and our marriage has been really good. It hasn't been without fault. It hadn't been perfect, but our marriage has been really good. We don't typically have we have our disagreements, but they don't typically last long. We are really good at conflict resolution between the two of us, but we're in such a different season now.
Yeah.
So I started noticing like we were getting off so much quicker. And our off was lasting a lot longer. January was really hard on our marriage. February was really hard on our marriage. And for us, that's a long time because you're talking about somebody who we're normally just off for a day or so, maybe 2 tops, you know? But we had some really hard months in our marriage to where we were just not on the same page. We were not vibing with one another. It was really hard, and it was under attack for real.
Yeah.
And it really called for us to move different in our marriage.
Yeah. One of the difficult things in us going through during that time was we couldn't step away.
Yeah.
Like we're in a hotel, so we're in the same room.
Yeah.
Now we having to be strategic on where we have these disagreements and have these conversations because our kids are with us.
Yeah.
It ain't like we could just, go to the other room or step outside, or I mean we could, but then you got people walking around and it's almost like you are just trapped and you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
There's no other way that you can turn and blow off steam and just go.
Yeah. And we needed space.
We need it. Like anytime you going through something like this, you have to have space in order to come back. But that just wasn't possible.
Yeah.
And that was another layer of the frustration for me.
Yeah.
Is because I just felt so suffocated.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to be around you, but I couldn't go nowhere else. So I was just like, man, like
work was taking a toll on you. And then the pressure, just the pressure of everything that's happening. Like at this point, we've been here for months.
Yeah.
We've been in a hotel for months.
Yeah.
So just that pressure on top of it is just like, it's a lot happening. And so it was really intense for our marriage, and it required us to do different things. Well, we're typically the ones who are saying, hey, 24 hours, and after that, we're gonna have to talk about it.
Yeah.
We were in such a different season, and it's like we had to learn how to shift. How do we navigate this? Are we ready to talk about this? Can we talk about this right now, And just even coming back to, oh no, Lord, you said we will be under attack. So we know it's a spiritual thing. So we got to fight from the spirit.
Yeah.
And so it required so much fighting from the spirit because it was just it was an all-out attack on our marriage in the midst of everything that's happening and that has happened.
Right.
I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
So, it got even more intense than it already was in our life.
Yeah.
On top of that, we're back in a hotel, but now we're hotel hopping because at first, we stayed at the same place for a while. Then we were staying with someone. Now we're hotel hopping because we're chasing the rate. If you've never, which most people haven't stayed in a hotel long term, it's not a vacation. You don't just book your few days and then that's just that. The rates change daily. So it literally can be $90 one night and $327 the next night.
The very next night for the same exact room.
For the same room.
It just depends. It just depends on who coming into town.
Yep.
It depends on what's happening in town.
In that area.
It depends
on
a lot of things, man. There's something that we didn't know
until
we got in this situation.
Yeah.
So just the hopping around, and when it comes to move day, like when we know we got to move to another hotel, that's another layer of stress.
Absolutely.
Because you got to be out at a certain time. You got to make sure the kids got what they need. You got to make sure they're not leaving nothing. You got to make sure that the car is packed to the T.
And it's a smaller car. I'm gonna insert some pictures and videos of just like the car and just how we loaded up and all our stuff. So it was a lot that went into it.
A whole lot.
So this is what a typical move in and move out day looks like for us. We typically have 2 of these cars, so that was probably the first one. But look at this tiny tail car. So, of course, grateful and thankful for it, but fitting all our stuff, man.
So just move-in day of getting from this place to that place, and sometimes while I'm at work, Amber got to move by herself. So that is another layer of stress and coming to pick me up at a certain time from them just moving or look.
And do we have the money to pay for the hotel the next day?
Right.
Because
like
even,
a lot of that.
Even though Philip is working, we told you insurance was taking a lot of money out of it. So that's a thing. But then also we get back and Philip gets a salary deduction.
Mm-hmm. So not only was insurance being taken out of my check in November, so now when I come back in January, I'm handed a letter saying that now your salary will be deducted by $5,000. I'm like, man, what is going on?
Because we need that. I don't care if it was just $20 more a month,
I
a check.
Every dollar.
We need it.
I need that.
So so that was even added stress on top of that's now being reflected in our marriage, because it's intense. It's more than intense. Like
it's tough, man.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then us still trying to manage that, still trying to make sure our kids are good, but not even having a lot of space to even be away from them. Some of the hotels we were staying in, we would get upgraded to a suite, and so we may have like where me and Philip could be in the room and the kids could be in the living room. But a lot of the hotels, we were just in a 2-bedroom hotel. I mean, a 2-bed hotel.
Yeah.
So you're talking about we ain't on the same page, and we're moving, and we have enough for tomorrow, and it's intense, and then you got the kids looking at us.
Right.
I'm hungry.
Right.
What we gonna do?
Right.
Can we go here?
Right.
Can we have a daddy-daughter day?
Right.
Can we have a mother-son day? Because even though we've been in this situation for a while, I'm thankful, and then it's just a double-edged sword because our kids have not got accustomed to this.
They have not, and I'm so grateful of that.
Absolutely.
That God has really kept their mind and kept their spirit of being children.
Yeah.
Because they haven't just been in a situation where they like, oh, well, this is my life.
Because that's not their life. This is not our portion.
No, this ain't our portion. This is not our life. Like, no, this is just a season.
A temporary season at that. Yeah. So they're still accustomed to, can we go to Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Can we go shopping?
Yeah.
Can we go do this? Can we go do that? That's what they're still accustomed to.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to navigate that, navigate this marriage, and survive.
All at the same time.
And all of them getting harder to survive.
Tough.
So it was a lot going on, and even when we got back, we just really felt like, God, it gotta be time now. It gotta be time. So even if this happening, we're like, any day now. Where the keys?
Yeah.
It gotta be coming because it's getting so tough. It's almost kind of like we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like we don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot.
It was a whole lot.
It was a lot. But then also at the same time, we're experiencing all these super highs too. Mm-hmm. So we're making memories that we've never made before.
Like in February, I got free tickets to go to our first Charlotte Hornets game.
Yeah.
Me and Peyton went. I made a whole surprise for him.
Yeah.
To where we went to our first Hornets game and we had really good seats. We had such a good time.
Yeah.
The very next month, sister's birthday. We went down to Wilmington.
We went to Wilmington.
And kicked it.
So I'll say this. Peyton's birthday sucked. Sister had a really good birthday. We'll fast forward real quick. Me and Philip had horrible birthdays too. She's the only one that had a good birthday. And I even feel worse for that because she had a good birthday and he didn't.
Yeah.
But we did end up going to the beach and it was a wonderful time for everybody.
Such a good
we
time.
got to that was their first time at the beach.
First time ever going to the beach.
So we really enjoyed that. It was a little chilly, but we enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So we're experiencing all these lows, but we're still making so many memories. Like we're still exploring Charlotte. You know, we're still visiting these places and that, and the kids are having a good time.
Yeah.
While we're still trying to survive.
Yeah.
So it was just so much happening.
Mm-hmm.
So much happening. We get to these hotels. Everybody ain't kind at a hotel.
Everybody ain't.
And we're hopping. We're hopping hotels at sometimes daily.
Yeah.
Because we're chasing the cheapest rate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the cheapest rate. Now we're not staying at like no Roche Motel or nothing like that now.
Thank God.
we got standards, and I thank God that my standards ain't have to be lowered that much because ill. But we're hopping around finding these rates or whatever, and everybody is not kind at a hotel. So we have some people making it hard on us, some people who are not wanting to even do simple stuff like give us an upgrade. Like we have status at this point. We've been staying in hotels for a while. Stuff like y'all don't even want to give us an upgrade. Y'all see this whole family here. Or just simple stuff like that. So the hotel living was a lot because it really depended on what hotel you were at, on if you were comfortable, on even if they have breakfast. Is the breakfast good? Is that a way we can save some money? It was a lot. It was a lot. And then the Lord started talking again. The Lord started talking.
Oh boy.
And boy, what did he say?
What did he say, bro?
So, and it's crazy how this even happened because Philip and I are such a team.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful that the Lord has truly honored our marriage and has helped us build this foundation that we have because we can, even though we were, facing some attack in our marriage, we still can come to each other and bring things to one another. So saying something to Philip is saying something to me and vice versa. Well, what the Lord said to me was not what I was expecting.
At all.
And what he said was, hey, you know that fraternity that your husband in? It's gotta go. It's gotta go. It's not of me. It doesn't serve me. It's actually idolatry, and I'll let Philip get into all that. But he was like, it has to go. And the way he told it to me, I'm like, okay, God, I know this is you saying this, but then I'm so shocked because it was like, oh my goodness, we won't ever get into a house with this.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, because the house that I am giving you, I will dwell in. It will be pure. So that stuff cannot come in my house. And I'm like, well, what you want me to do? Because I'm not in a fraternity. What you want me to do? And he had me sit on it for a little while.
Yeah.
And then I was able to bring it up to Philip, and then he had me sit on it again. And I'm such a goer. I'm like, okay, you done had me bring it up. Let me help him. Let me lead him to this. And he was like, no, that's not your job. I'll do that. And what did he say?
He said, hey man, in order for you to get to where I need you to be, you're gonna have to sacrifice something that you really love. And it was my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. It's something that I had to give up in order to be in right standing with him. And God showed me multiple times in Exodus and Deuteronomy, and the more I was reading, the more I was praying, he was showing me in these different scriptures on why Omega was idolatry. He was bringing things to my mind, things that I said out of my mouth, things that I said that I would do, not necessarily in my actions, because I never once put Omega before my family or my relationship with God or nothing like that. Not out of my actions, but it was the things I said out of my mouth. And as believers, we know that the things that we say out of our mouth, they have power in it. There's life and death in the power of the tongue. So the things that we say out of our mouth, we have to be really conscious of. And what I said out of my mouth is I would hold Omega up to a higher standard than I would in God. And that's something that he brought to my mind, like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's
yeah.
That's not it.
And it was a covenant.
It was definitely a covenant. It's a covenant that I made before God, that I was choosing, that wasn't God. You know what I mean? So nah, like, and that was a tough time. That was such a tough time, because when he told me that, it wasn't like I gave up Omega the next day. I struggled for 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, it was a struggle.
It was intense.
It was a struggle,
yeah.
man. I was like, but during this time, like, we have been in such a valley that you have a different perspective on things.
Yeah.
And I'm still grateful that God even brought this to me in this time, because I wouldn't have been able to see if I was any other place in my life.
Yeah.
I'm in such a point right now to where it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
If God tells me to do something,
yeah.
I'm gonna do it, because you don't please him without faith. You do things in acts of obedience to serve the Father.
Yeah.
So when that happened, oh man.
It was so...
It was rough, man. It was rough. It was really rough. And, yeah.
It was a lot. And then even me for a wife, you told me this months before I even brought it up to him. And then you tell me to bring it up to him, and then tell me to say nothing else. So I have to take my hands off of it and stop trying to be in control and let you and him work it out.
Yeah.
And it's a lot, because for me, I'm like, oh, we need to let this go, because I need to get out this season, let it go. But I'm not in one. I was never in one.
Yeah.
So I couldn't truly understand that part of it. And as a wife, I'm like, hey, do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And God is like, I need you to sit over here, because you are not running this. And that's even just another part that we had to work through in our marriage. Like, God has to lead it.
Yeah.
You can't be the one. Yes, I chose you to bring this to him because he trusts you.
Yeah.
But now I have to do a work in him.
Yeah.
And you have to sit tight while I do that work in him.
Yeah.
So it was so much. But then also I want to say this too. That wasn't the only covenant that we were in.
I was just about to say that. That wasn't the only covenant. Like, God was showing us multiple covenants that we had come into agreement with, either in our dreams, either through fornication with other people previously in our marriage, like, just whatever. Like, he kept showing us multiple covenants that we were in. Like, these have to be broken.
Yeah.
And not only broken, they have to be cut off at the root.
Absolutely.
They have to be called out. They have to be thrown down. And you have to continue.
And that's Bible.
And I mean, it's Bible.
Yeah.
Like, if you really want to get in right standards with him, you have to do these things.
Yeah.
And God was showing us over and over and over again, like, this ain't the only thing. Jack.
And you have to call them things by name too. You can't just, you have to call it by name.
Yeah.
And not even just in our life, but even from our ancestors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to break these things.
Mm-hmm.
And what really did it for me is when God was like, hey, my hands are tied.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, you're God and your hands are tied?
Yeah. Like, I didn't even know that was possible.
That part. That
like
part.
What?
But that's why you got to get so into that word, because he literally was like, my hands are tied.
Yeah.
And then so many other things made sense. Oh, at this season, you're using all the things, but you actually, by spiritual law, they have access to destroy our life right now.
Yeah, you gave them legal access.
Now you're making, well, that's just law. He won't lie.
Yeah.
So, but so many times we think that if it's something good, that God is in it. If it's something bad, then it's the enemy. And then we get to a point where if it's something bad, God is allowing it to happen. And God definitely allows things to happen. But sometimes we don't even realize that because of what we did or because of what we were born into, the enemy actually has legal access to our life. And a lot of times the enemy doesn't even come collecting until generations after.
Yeah.
And so that was fire for us too. Wait a minute, we gotta break these covenants, because I don't need our kids and our grandkids and our great-great-grandkids suffering because of things that we did not break, because we weren't willing to sacrifice things, because we weren't willing to be in right standing with the Lord.
Especially when we were been made aware of that.
Absolutely, because right standing ain't just getting saved. That's not right standing.
Yeah.
And so that was a whole nother journey in itself.
Whole nother journey.
It's learning about the covenants and the evil altars. breaking them, you know, because getting to a point, like, you know, just because you bring it to our attention every time, it ain't automatic. All right, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But we had to get to those points, and it required a lot of praying, a lot of fasting, a lot of talking to God and trusting in Him to even get to that point. So it was intense, it was hard, but God was also in the midst, because hey, I need to make you aware of these things so that we can step into new.
Yeah. So by Him calling us out, God wasn't just calling us out of Little Rock. He has been calling us out of these covenants that we have made that we weren't even aware of.
Yep.
Like, so I think that just the whole theme of this move is God calling us out.
God calling us out. Yep.
That's the whole theme of this entire move, is God calling us out.
Yep. And He's so perfect and so strategic and so intentional that I still need to get you out of this place to even open your eyes about other things.
Absolutely.
I need to get you out of this place so I can show you new things. I need to get you out of this place so I can actually take you to where I'm trying to get you to go. So even though it's been all the other things we've been talking about, it's been hard, it's been tense, God has been doing such a work in us, in our life, in our family, in the spirit, that we have to be grateful.
We have to.
We have to be grateful.
Just imagine God telling us all these things about these covenants while we're in Little Rock. You think we would have listened?
That's doom. Cause what?
What?
That ain't God. You know? Because that's just where we were. God didn't say, like, I've seen people renounce and denounce, you know, fraternities and sororities before, and I'm like, oh, that's intense.
Yeah.
But never was I ever thinking that we would go through this. And it's a we thing, because when he joined, we were all a part of it.
Absolutely.
So when he got out, we all were a part of that, you know?
Absolutely.
Conversations had to happen.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Once again. Yeah.
It got intense.
Again.
It got intense.
Yeah, man.
But I'm so proud of Philip.
Yeah.
Because that was a big one.
No, that was huge, man. And it's something I'm still dealing with to this day, at this very moment. I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still having to relive conversations and informing people and things of that nature, because it was such my identity for the past 14 years. Now I'm just making a transition of Christ being my identity.
Absolutely.
So that's literally all it is. And God has still shown His love, even my transition out.
He has.
I was expecting to lose friendships. I was expecting to lose relationships. I was expecting so much loss, but I gained so much more. Yeah. Some of my fraternity brothers still said that they were going to love me and respect me and have friendships with me and still check on me and things of that nature. So.
And they have.
And they have. Like, I have just been shown so much love from those men and from God that He was just like, I got you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got you. Like, you step out on faith, like, I got you. Yeah. I know what I told you and you did it, so I got your back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's just been really refreshing.
Yeah, and Philip has handled it so well. Like, he really has. I've just been in such awe of him for it. Like, he's just been so gracious, and you know, he's just handled it so well, and it's been such a sacrifice. And I mean, I just love the fact that my man was like, no, I'm gonna follow the Lord. I'm gonna do what He said do. You know, so. We'll wrap up there. Okay. Y'all, we get to the end of this story because y'all almost caught up to present day, okay?
Almost. We still got some stuff to talk about, though.
But we getting close.
Yeah, we getting close, though.
So, if you haven't, first off, we appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Sure. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching the other ones. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking our page. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being so encouraging. Yes, we love you guys. We really do. If you haven't already, subscribe to our page.
Like this video. Comment your favorite part. Comment a question.
Comment a question. If you have questions, absolutely. We may even do a question and answer video. But ask the questions that you have.
For sure.
That don't mean we gotta answer every question, but we'll answer what we choose. But yeah, do all those things. Share this video with someone that you really think it could help. Yeah. And we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.
Love you.